Cheers, legends. Sammy from Short and Stout Beer Reviews. We're on the hype train. It's that time. All those US beers in the fridge that have been sitting there. It's time to get them down. So, starting off the new year with a bucket list beer, PLINY for President. I had a look at when I did PLINY for Elder, and PLINY the Elder. And funnily enough, that was my first review I did, and when I started my channel a year ago. So yeah, I thought, wow, that's pretty cool that I did PLINY for my first ever beer review. So triple dry hopped IPA, 2024 edition. I think it's about 7 weeks old, maybe 8. Percentage 7%. Love the can artwork. It's got that presidential campaign look to it. Very American. And yeah, I've got the New Orleans hat on again. Just yeah, like paying my respects to what's happened there. It's pretty sad. So yeah, hopefully yeah, the families are looked after and there's not more victims. And yeah, I'm not sure what's going on with the person that caused all the trouble, but bloody dogs. Anyway, frustrates the shit out of me. Who have we got? We've got Free Rider. Cheers, mate. And Daniel. Good to see you. Time to crack into this bad boy. And yeah, I've just knocked off night shift, so I'm a little bit tired. But yeah, not tired enough to enjoy this bad boy. Got my Denver and Liley hyped glassware. That's what I normally use for all the good beers. Now let's hope this beer goes all right. It's travelled. Sounds all right on the crack. Woohoo! It drives me nuts when I just start a video and you sort of start, like, because you're live and you're thinking about what you're going to say, and then like the dogs will start moving around and it like shifts your focus, and then you start like thinking about that. That's why I get real frustrated. The joys of live. You could imagine what it'd be like if you're like a TV host. So, pause medium. One finger head. I would say colour is sort of like a pale yellow, almost straw. It definitely looks darker in the camera. It's like lighter just looking here in the light in reality. Carbonation's pretty light. I would say cloudy in appearance. But yeah, it looks pretty cool. Looks good in the glass anyway. So let's go with. So like PLINY, I'm getting citrus and stone fruit on the nose. So you're getting like orange, lemon, grapefruit, maybe tangerine. And yeah, maybe some peach and apricot. A little bit grassy, but yeah, not really getting pine on the aroma. There may be a touch of like pineapple or something there, like a little tropical hint. Yeah, I remember when I first smelt PLINY and I thought, oh, the aroma's a bit lackluster. Like maybe this beer's not going to be as good as I expected. And then when I tasted, I was like, wow. So maybe this is sort of the same sort of thing because, yeah, the aroma's quite subtle. Anyway, let's get into it. Let's hope it's a good one. Cheers. The pine and the pine, the earth, the like resin, the dank and the bitter, they just come out of nowhere. I don't know how they do it. It just you don't get any of it on the smell and then just boom, flavor. Wow. Oh, they just know how to use Simcoe. I think it's Citra, Simcoe, and got a feeling it's one of the experimental hops. Pretty sure it was 3 hops all up. But yeah, it's amazing how you just get this like sweet, like sort of almost candy citrus on the nose. And then you drink it and woo. Cheers, Shuey. Yeah. I do like a good whiskey, but unfortunately in Australia the spirit prices are just getting so outrageous now. I sort of refuse to unless I'm really, 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 really keen. I don't really buy spirits very often. Like just in comparison, the other day we were talking about just your basic bottles of bourbon. And in America, you'll get like Jim Beam and all that sort of stuff for about, I think it's about $17 or $18 a bottle. And then in Australia, the exact same products like around $60. So all your like mid-range bourbons and that here are all around sort of friggin' like nearly $100. Just yeah, unless you've got some big, real high flying job, it's just way too expensive. When I drink spirits, like I'll drink them properly. Like I'll have look because I want to. If I want to have a drink, I'm not just going to have one whiskey and then put the bottle away. It just never happens. So yeah, I only sort of buy for special occasions now. Cheers, Clint. Good to see you, brother. You're having a quick guest tonight. I seen you doing some of your exercises while I was at work. You had some other dude there with you. Yeah, Happy New Year. My new year has started off okay, I would say. Nothing bad's happened yet. Nothing decent's happened. It's just going along nicely. The only shit thing is I'm back at work. Yeah, definitely. So some of my US mates, they do like reviews together. Like they'll do like a couple of drams of like a whiskey or a what it like a bourbon or whatever together, and I'd love to get involved, but it's just like most of the shit they're drinking, they're paying like $40 or $50 for. So then it means I'm up for about 120. It's just like it's not worth it. It's bad enough drinking beer in Australia, let alone spirits. Don't even get me started on cigarettes. I'm not even a smoker, but yeah, I'd be well mad if I was a smoker. That pine's just creeping in, sort of like a dry like spruce tippy, like it's resinous but not real like oily and overdank. Um, yeah, it's almost got that like cedar, like wood sort of thing going on. But yeah, it's very similar to like when I had Pliny. I definitely got a similar sort of like vibe from that. It'd be awesome to do a side by side. I don't know if there's many people out there that have sort of had Pliny the Elder and Pliny for President together. I'd just love to know like what the differences are. Because yeah, it's sort of hard for me to grasp when I've only ever had Pliny the Elder once, and I had it a year ago, and now this is the first time I'm having this one. Cheers, Lee. Good to see you. Now, this was after the shopping. You were doing another stream where you were actually exercising, like in your house. Well, I think you were. I just quickly, like, I had another coffee break, and I just quickly popped in, and you were there with some other guy. Unless it was the same stream, but at the end of it. Dogs. Cool. Yeah, I do them so often now. It's just become like, I don't know, sort of natural. I mean, I do different sort of like I do review lives that are like this that just go for sort of anywhere from like 10 minutes to about half an hour or 40. But then, like, I'll do the hangouts where I invite a heap of people on. Can get tough sometimes when you have a heap of people up there and just trying not to get people talking over each other and yeah, having to deal with like the chat and getting any shifty people. I think sometimes you've just got to be pretty stern and pretty selfish. At the end of the day, it's like your sort of channel, so you can do whatever you want. If you don't want someone there, you just say. Or yeah, if people are talking about certain stuff that you don't agree with or you don't really want to discuss, like, yeah, I've found a lot of people are doing lives now just because of the whole watch hour thing. Like some people are just doing them just for the sake of them, just to get the watch hours up. And then there's other people that are sort of dabbling in it just because like it gets your watch hours up, so it's better for their channel. But yeah, it's like you don't want to do it so it's just like forced. I just do live beer reviews like instead of doing pre-recorded stuff because not only do I find it easier, but I love more the interaction with people like at the time. Just being able to chat to people like they're live, like getting feedback and banter, and yeah, you can sort of talk about how your day's going, whether you've had a good week or a shit week, and you can sort of vent. It's good. It's a good outlet, especially for someone like me that lives by themselves. It definitely drinks easy, I can say that. So the percentage of it was it 7? Yeah, 7%. If I blind tasted that, I probably would have thought, yeah, to be honest, I'd probably think it was in the like late sixes, early sevens. So it was probably like, yeah, about what you'd expect with the ABV. The body was, I would say, medium. I felt like it was a little lighter than PLINY. I reckon PLINY had just a bit more oomph in the body. The colour on them was both pretty similar, from what I remember. Um, I reckon PLINY, when I first poured it, had a bit more of a head on it. But yeah, they both had that same aroma where you get like sweet citrus and a little bit of stone fruit and like a bready, biscuity backbone. Um, I probably felt like the pine was more prominent in Piney than what it was in the President. Um, but yeah, both very similar beers and both very good beers. Russian River's definitely a brewery I'd love to try like a heap of different styles from. It's cool how they've got all the whole like presidential campaign sort of artwork, and then you have just their little logo up the top there that looks completely different to everything else. Big pine tree is their logo. Cheers, Simo. You had any of the Plinies, dude? Good stuff. So I've had Pliny the Elder a year ago, and now I've had Pliny for president. So I'm going to try and get my hands on Pliny the Younger. They're just like your old school American IPA. Very, very deceiving. Like when you first smell it, it just smells like sweet citrus and stone fruit. And then first taste, you just get this huge like waft of like pine and earth and bitterness. Yeah, definitely hard to get a lot of that sort of stuff, and hard to get at a reasonable price too. I've got someone now that can sort of get certain stuff for me, but I'm paying like fairly good money for it. I get the occasional sort of decent price one, but most of them are definitely overs. Yeah. Yeah. Allagash White's good, dude. I had that. I reckon about 2 or 3 years ago. I've only ever had it once. I got Allagash White. Um, I ended up getting about 6 different Allagash beers, and two of them were like sort of middle shelf, like wild ales. They were really good. And then I got like Allagash White, some other sort of saison, and then I can't really remember, but I just remember White being one of the best like wheat beers I'd ever had. Really, really enjoyed it. It's like sort of like real delicate, and like just for the quality of it, it's like I remember I got it for like a really good price. Like we just happened to have a bottle shop in Melbourne that got some of their stuff in. Yeah, I might pour a little bit more of this in, but I need to save some for a photo. That should do it. Yeah, the fact that it's like joined to a like Allagash, I've never really even thought of that. We've got these new trains in our area now. They're called Velocity trains, and they're more modern because the train from my hometown to Melbourne's very, very like third world equivalent. Like it's been a lot of problems over the years, and these new trains, they're faster, more modern, but they don't fit as many people on them. And anyway, they've got these whistles on them, and it's sort of like, you hear it in the background. And they changed over like months ago, but every time I hear the noise, I still think, well, what the fuck is that noise? Like, still getting used to it. Like the train line's not far from like the back of my yard. It's just such a weird noise. Because like the original trains we had were always this like real loud, deep horn. God. Saturday here's meant to be, I think it's 34 degrees, and then Sunday's meant to be like 40 apparently. Thank fuck it's on the weekend this time. So every time we seem to get 2 or 3 hot days, it's always like midweek. But yeah, if it's on the weekend, it's so much better. That Sunday at 40, that'll be killer. So yeah, you look at it and you think it looks like a hazy, doesn't it? Like it's just doesn't look West Coast at all. Just that like sort of different colour, the cloudiness to it. And you smell it and you're like, oh yeah, like a citrus bomb hazy. And then all of a sudden you taste it and you're like, what the fuck? Yeah, I love how the pine and the bitterness just goes. Oh god, that's insanity. How many layers of clothing do you have with that sort of shit? Or is it just the fact you just wear the same clothing but you're just sitting inside in front of a fire? See, I can't even like I've never really experienced anything close to that. The coldest I've probably ever experienced is probably whether it's Yeah, I think -6 degrees Celsius. That was like in the snowfields. But like, yeah, I don't know. I was like skiing and covered up in a heap of layers. Plus, I was like late teens, early 20s or something. Like, didn't really feel the cold. I remember waking up in the morning though at our accommodation. I was like, "Fuck, this is real cold." I still think though the coldest I've ever been and just put up with it though is when because I used to do like bodyboarding and surfing and stuff when I was younger. I used to go to the beach every winter, and sometimes I wouldn't even wear a wetsuit. And like in Victoria, it's fucking cold. Like not all of Australia is like nice warm beaches. Like down in Victoria, you've got the Antarctica down below, so it's fucking cold. And I used to just go in there and like it'd be the coldest thing ever. Like it'd be like getting into an ice bath. And then after a while you sort of just get used to it. Yeah. Especially when you've got no aircon. See if it's like 40 degrees and you can't get to a beach, you're sort of stuck at home. If you don't have air conditioning, I'd nearly reckon it's better to sit outside and just like lap it up. Like sit in sort of a shady area with cold beer and just sort of fight it out. Because if you don't have aircon inside, it's just so much fucking hotter and like stuffier, and you'll just be like sitting on your recliner, like just fucking sweating your ass off, real muggy, and there's like nothing you can do. One thing when we had some really hot days last summer, I got the shits up just because I had no aircon and couldn't get any relief from it. I ended up just going to the supermarket and hanging out like in the freezer section. I wish I could have just pulled up a chair and just sat there and drank beers. Yeah, it's just what you're used to. But yeah, I just feel in Victoria, like because we experience the absolute highs and the lows, I feel like we sort of yeah, like when you hear of like Queenslanders whinging about the cold and that, it's like it doesn't really get that cold up there. Um, yeah, there's certain parts of Australia where it gets like in the 50s and shit. Like it can. There's an area in Western Australia up north, and they say that it's like even hotter than like the Sahara Desert. It's rated as like the hottest place in the world, or one of. Like imagine being there. Imagine being a little kid going to school there or something. One of the guys I watch, he's got a Harley Davidson like YouTube channel, and he did the Harley Davidson in that area, and like it was so bad they had to keep stopping every like 20 minutes. They couldn't handle the heat, and they're used to riding in heat all the time. It's just like next level. Yeah, yeah. Perfect day for me is like probably like late 20s, sunny, you can't go wrong with that. Like, you can sort of do whatever you want outside. It's not uncomfortable. I mean, you could still even go for a swim if it's like late 20s because it's sort of warm enough. You can, yeah, do all the other shit you want to do without getting sort of like, I don't know, sticky, sweaty, whatever. And it's like, yeah, it's not like cold or windy. It's nothing worse though when it's really hot, like in the 40s, and it's really windy, and all you think about is like bushfires. Like it's real scary in Australia. I wish I had more of this. What size is the can? Yeah, 1 pint, 473 ml. It's like when I did Ghost. Ghost had a dubstep 1 pint challenge, and he did his pint and looked like he sort of struggled a bit. He did it in like 2 or 3 gulps. And then I realised that his pint's 473. Like in Australia, ours are like 550 or something. I'm thinking mine was fucking way bigger. So there must be different pint sizes in like the US, the UK. How big's a pint in the UK? If yeah, Disco or Simo, or if you're still there. Pretty sure the Australian ones were like 550 or 560 or something. Yeah, must be. Yeah, yeah, well, that's what it was. Because I had a brewery glass, and the brewery glass was like 600 ml. So the top of the pint was about that much below it. But yeah, so that like the friggin' yeah, the US ones is like 100 ml less, or not quite 100. Like yeah, but it's a massive difference if you yeah doing a chug and thinking, oh yeah, he's a little bit quicker. It's like no, he's drank a lot more. Yeah, 473 Simmer. Really? Jeez, we have quite a few here. Cheers, Harry. Have you had any of the Plinies, Harry? I'm sure you've had Pliny the Elder. I feel like I had like when I first started my channel a year ago. I had a heap of hyped American stuff, and I went and looked back, and apparently Pliny the Elder was my first beer review, and it was around this time last year. I think like New Year's or something, and yeah, so here I am doing Pliny for President a year later, and from what I remember, I feel like this beer is very similar to that. Yeah, yeah. I thought you'd had it. I know Adams had the president. I know Craig's had the president and the elder. Yeah. So it's got that sort of like bready, biscuity backbone. Like when you first smell it, you mainly smell like citrus and stone fruit. And then you taste it and you get like the pine and the earth and the bitterness just straight away. Boom. I like the way like it's brewed. But yeah, I better give it a score since I'm running low on supply. I would probably say I'm going to say it's around that sort of 4.6, 4.7 out of 5. I'll say 4.6. 4.6 out of 5. I like the fact that it's one of the pioneer beers as well. Like people will get new stuff and go, "Oh, this is better than PLINY or whatever," and it's like, yeah, but you've started brewing this like 30 years after, and you've probably drew inspiration from the same beer. Um, yeah, the fact that it's got that slightly hazy appearance, and on the nose, it's almost comes across like a hazy, but then when you taste it, it's like old school whiskey. It's pretty cool. Yeah, it was well rounded as well. Yeah, just I mean, if I was going to critique it, I'd just say like a little bit more body, maybe a bit more carbonation. Um, yeah, probably even like maybe some more bitterness to it. But yeah, great beer. Can't fault it much. Very, very enjoyable. What's going on here? Good news regarding the granny shag going. I got no idea what that means. Yeah, who knows? Because it's government owned fucking shit. They're probably just like wanting to support their own local instead of like the neighbour. It's just such a stupid setup with alcohol in Canada. But yeah, as I've said many a time, I have to fucking work hard to get all the beers I get. I have to do a lot of travel, so people think it all just comes to me. But a lot of times I'm traveling 3 hours just to get stuff. So I feel like other people sort of need to do that if they want good stuff as well. We're just lucky in Australia that we have good online setups now. That definitely helped since the pandemic. I can get like beers from like breweries in like the other side of the country and stuff delivered to me for reasonable price. Oh yeah, yeah. No, all good. I just didn't know. I love like football. It's just I didn't know the term granny shagger. If you had said, "Oh, Rooney getting sacked," I would have known straight away what you're talking about. I certainly know who Wayne Rooney is. There's been a lot of sort of younger coaches with jobs and struggling of late. It'd be a tough gig though, taking over a team that's battling slightly, or yeah, you don't have like yeah. As I've always said, it's so fucking hard in like the Premier League and that because yeah, you just got some clubs that have got enough money to spend on one player, and other clubs can't even afford that for their whole team. I just think it's insane that fucking Raggy's mob, Nottingham Forest, are fucking second in the Premier League. It's insane. Like I remember not long ago them getting like promoted. Raggy was fucking stoked, like parading around in his little shirt. Here they are up there with Liverpool. But I better wrap this up. Uh, yeah, I'm only doing probably just doing the one review today. I mean, it's a pretty hyped beer, so it'd be a good one for people to watch back if they haven't joined live. There'll be a lot of Americans that'll probably jump on here in an hour or 2 hours time and seeing that I've done this and go, "Ooh, hello." So yeah, thanks everyone for chiming in. There could be some more I can't speak. There could be some more American hype this time tomorrow. I've certainly got plenty in the fridge. Yeah, being the weekend, I'll probably do a couple more reviews. I just wanted to do one good one because I've just finished night shift. So yeah, I mean, if anyone's live when I come off here, I might jump on a panel for a beer or two. But after that, I've got to get to bed. So thanks again. Love yous all, and we'll see yous again soon. Cheers.